NRL Fantasy Match Day Special. We've got the 6:30 till 7:30 p.m. slot, and we've got the last-minute questions that are plaguing everyone. Now, Rob, Turtle, I was looking at this potential show and just thinking, you know what? There's always a curveball on Thursday afternoon, on Friday afternoon, and this needs to be the show where we address it. Welcome back, Rob. Go to you first. How you been going lately, and how's your fantasy team going?
Yeah, it's going okay. I'm pretty happy with how it's placed. I'm in the around 2000 mark, so I feel like I'm poised to be shooting up the ranks through these buy rounds. So I'm pretty happy how it is.
It's not a bad spot to be in. Turtle, you're in a slightly better spot than me and Rob, around that 1,000, 2,000 mark. How you feeling?
Terrible. It's so much better when you're coming back from behind, but when you start really good at the beginning of the season and you can only just go backwards, kind of sucks. I feel like you're always doing the wrong thing, but still in the game, got plenty of trades in the bank, so looking to make some moves soon.
Mate, prime position. I'm just going to jump to the chat too. We've got a lot of hype here. Josh is here. Clear is this new thing. Yep, new show we've got coming through Thursday late afternoon. It's going to be a rotating roster, but we might have episodes where we have like 5 or 6 people on it. Anyone here in 2025? Hopefully all of us. Let's go team. Longy, where are you? I'm here. We were just waiting on a delay that will be revealed later. Turtle. King. Thoughts on Cook? We'll talk about that too. Liam's here, and Turtle, you got the shout out here as well, guys. Make sure to give the hype to Turtle and Rob here too. They're just as sharp on the fantasy game. Then Tevaga, broken rib, is probably a good starting point before we get into captaincy. Fellas, I'm going to throw to you first, Rob. Tavaga's broken rib. Does that news change anything about how you view him, or is he in the same boat?
He's tough, isn't he? Apparently, he's been carrying that for the past month. So if it was a new injury, I'd be kind of worried. The fact that he's been carrying it for last month and obviously tough as nails, loves a needle up, so doesn't really change my view. I love him if he was starting, but I'm still happy to hold him this week to see what happens.
Are you on the same boat there, Turtle?
Yeah, I hear a lot of people asking if they should sell him. I'm like, it's just an easy hold this week. He's playing the first game of the round, so obviously a lot of people have Roosters players. It's just such an easy loop. You can wait and see what happens. Like if Jobo gets picked for Origin, it's a no-brainer. We have a good lock.
Yeah, that's the big one there, and that break even in particular, right? It's so favorable. So if he comes off the bench and plays 40 to 50 minutes of prop, he probably still scores 40 to 50 points. I'm thinking we try to stick with him, but yeah, we're in a good spot here. I will shout out too, guys. This show is sponsored, so we're moving up in the world. It's taken some time to line this sort of thing up because I want to find some good sponsors, but I have found a good one now. SmartB. So SmartB, Smart Play. We'll go through a bit of that later as well, but they're a daily fantasy game. The link is in the description of this video here. They run a bunch of promos, especially around Origin, but they're also doing daily fantasy for every game. So we'll go through a bit of squad builds a bit later, but let's tear into captaincy first. Now, I've got a few options here. I know you boys always have random curveballs that I don't think of, so I'm open to some pod captains too. We've got Terrell May, Payne Haas, Nathan Cleary, Keon Kalamatangi, Aaron Clark. We've got Toby Couchman there and Herbie Farmworth. Quick word on Terrell May here first. Or either of you guys jumping on Terrell May as your captain?
He's just a common sense one, isn't he? Like he's just a set and forget, boring kind of option. So if you're boring, get on May.
Yeah, are you getting on May?
Me?
Either.
No, I'm leaning towards Cleary here. Like Tigers without Galvin, I just think they just instantly lose the game. And I don't know, maybe Panthers put 50 on.
Yeah, I reckon Terrell's a decent shout. I was a bit worried about the lack of offloads last week, but I think he's the safe option. Payne Haas is being slept on though, and this is a risky one, right? Because he looked absolutely gassed last week, backing up from Origin. The Broncos are getting a lot of chat right now that they're not going to bounce back. Turtle, I'll throw to you. What are you expecting for the Broncos here? Because I know you've been thinking about Reece Walsh, so surely you're optimistic.
Broncos, yeah, as a Broncos supporter, it's been a tough watch the past few weeks. But yeah, we have Ezra Mann back with Walsh, and earlier the year we had Hunt in there instead of Walsh, but I don't know, stats don't lie, and Walsh and Ezra Mann together playing, actually we have a better win rate with that. And Ezra Mann's play style, where he runs the ball a lot more, it's a lot different to what Hunt provides. So I feel like it complements Walsh and his running game and his kicking game and his dynamic, random, high risk, high reward plays. Whereas like Ezra Mann's like a high effort player, so he'll also back up with those high effort plays and high risk plays. And maybe we'll have some people chasing those random balls going to the sidelines, and maybe we can get some tries through that.
Yeah, we've seen that combination work in the past. I'm with you there. The revert to the norm. It's just tough though, because I've got Turbo on my team already. Do I want to have another underperforming, slightly injury prone outside back? Some people have Ponga too. The Ponga to Walsh trade, I feel like, is that sideways, Rob, or is that a worthwhile trade? Like, what do you think there?
I don't know. That's Holy Trinity this year, isn't it?
Surely no
know.
one's running that three.
I don't
Turbo's
know.
looking like the
I'm
Emperor
very
down the
close.
bottom.
I'm very close. I need Walsh and I have the unholy trinity.
You got the dark side filter going on as well with the color scheme. Oh,
I'm not a
mate.
believer. I'm not a believer in any of them. But I'll probably will be forced to get one of them for most likely Walsh around 18, because that's looking like a dire situation with wing fullback. So I'll probably punt on one of them at this stage. But yeah, it's not looking great for any of them, is it?
So non-believer Nathan Cleary. Then, if we keep on the captain role, Rob, are you a Cleary guy this week?
I've always been a Cleary guy. This week I am umming and ahhing about it, because the score could be whatever, right? This week against the Tigers, so it's he could go ballistic. So, and he's been in great form, hasn't he? Heading into Origin, it looks like he's fired up. The Penrith side needs a good win, so he could be a really good shout.
Yeah, Cleary is where I'm leaning as well, and it's probably less logical, more emotional. I can just imagine him tearing up this week, and I'm thinking Luai is going to bring the heat in this game as well. So the Tigers aren't going to be a pushover, but there's going to be plenty of attacking opportunities to expose. We're seeing their forward pack a bit under strength too, so the Panthers should roll on here with Fanua Pole and now Alex Twal out as well. So that middle defense might be a bit dicey. Throwing it to the chat here too, guys. Drop a note in. Who are you captaining this week? Or are you considering two options? We can talk about all those guys. Now, Turtle, I'm throwing to you here, man. The rest of this list here, so the first three, they're the guys we've been talking about all year. But Koloamatangi, Clark, Couchman, Herbie Farmworth, or someone else, does any of that tempt you at all? And if you had to pick someone outside of the big three, who would you go for?
Out of the big three, probably Keon. Keon's back-to-back games, really high minutes, crazy work rate. The guy's running like 250, 300 meters a game. Gets through his work easily, easy tackles, easy tackle breaks, and he just seems like he has this motor in him where he just keeps on going and going. And sometimes I watch the game and I'm like, man, this guy's like starting to get gas. He's got hands on hips, and then he just runs up and takes the next hit up, and I'm like, what's going on? So I feel like just because of the minutes factor, it's kind of like what May has over Haas. He has that like endurance compared to Haas is more explosive. So I feel like Keon's probably closer to May if I had to pick out excluding the big three. So Keon's the way to go.
Koloamatangi for the Turt. Rob, what about you?
Yeah, same thing, because I think like Herbie's amazing, but sometimes he sits there like, on 30 points and he has this massive play at the end. So he's a hard watch, I think, as a captain. Whereas the other ones are more consistent. You just see their scores keep on going up, and if they score try, they're already on 50 points by halftime. So I think Colo is definitely the way to go. Aaron Clark, he's been amazing, obviously, but his minutes a bit, every week it's a bit different. So, but he is amazing as well. And Couchy, very consistent, but a rung below the other guys, I think.
Yeah, I think in other years where the players were a bit more regular, and Haas was a 63, Yo was a 65, Couchman would be seen as more of a captain option. But just with the uplift we've seen this year, it's been tough to go outside that big three. We've got a few replies here too. Payne has asked to just captain him. I think that is the real Payne Haas as well. He's actually a fan of the show. I'm not going to look into it in any detail. That's his YouTube channel, though. Then we got Claire's for Will. Krusty comes in with Cleary as well. Anthony's going Cleary. We got May here. Colo, Cleary, or May. So a bit of a spread there. I'm leaning Cleary. I think there's a bit of push from May. Colo's solid. Piakura as captain. Boys, what do you think? This left field. What do you think will be Piakura's career high single game score? I'll throw to you first, Rob.
Single game score career high. What is it so far?
Tough
Do you
one,
know?
right?
Well,
I think he's had a 60s score. I think a 63 or something like that was his best.
So I'll say 63.
Oh, so you're not counting Origin and Australian representatives then?
Yeah. If I close my eyes and imagine really hard, then maybe that will happen. But 63 seems to be the ceiling, I'd say.
63. How about you, Turtle?
I just quickly checked. His highest score in fantasy has been 62. So
Okay. 62.
yeah, he has to now try get a 63 just for Robert. Funny. I reckon maybe 75. Like some random game he's going to score 3 tries.
It only gets 75. Oh, see, I'm going a bit higher here. I'm thinking 87 is his big
Ooh.
day. Yeah, I think he has a big day. Look, he's a young guy, he's still developing. There's going to be that day where he really sort of shows out. So I'm backing him. But yeah, for the captain options, a bit of Haas coming through here too. A couple of people going Piakura. He's like the third most popular captain at this point. Cleary v Couchman there. Goat Piakura again. We got the Garrick gang. We'll talk about Garrick as well, actually. And actually, you know what? I'm going to throw it straight in. Rob, you're a bit of a Manly Seagulls expert. How do you see this game going this week? And do you think Garrick is going to be a special? Because we're going to see the late team list adjustments here too.
Unfortunately, I think he's going to have a field day against my Knights. Like they're terrible, aren't they? Yeah. So and then I've noticed a trend with Garrick. He has a week off, week on, week off, week on. So this week is his week on, supposed to be. So I'm predicting he's going to get 70 plus this week versus the Knights.
Big shout. Fletcher Sharp, any interest at all? Throwing to either of you here.
It's a bit scary with the talk that Ponga's out, etc., etc. He could move back to the fullback role, which is a bit iffy at. So I wouldn't go Fletcher Sharp.
I think Fletcher Sharp scores a little bit better this week, just with Marzu coming back. But I don't think he's a captain option, no.
Well, Halassim is the last one who's getting a bit of hype. But yeah, I think I'm pretty settled on Cleary. Let's make our calls here right now because I'm settled on Cleary myself. I just think Cleary, he's got that 127-point game in him at some point this year, like 127 specifically as well. And I think this game is a real candidate for it. So I'm going Cles. How about you, Rob?
It'll either be Cleary or May for me.
No, either. You got to pick one right now. That's the pressure.
The pressure. I'll say May.
May? And you, Turtle?
Yep.
Probably Cleary.
Probably Cleary or definitely Cleary?
Definitely Cleary then.
This is the last minute show, guys. There's no up in the air. It's
now it's on Cleary. Right now it's on Cleary. Yeah. So
yeah, mine's sitting on Cleary as well. So look, we're going Cleary here. The Garrick explosion, though, there's a lot of hype for Garrick right now, and Piakura, of course. But I do think Garrick is due that big game. And last week he pumped out, I think it was 41 or 42 points there. Didn't have much going on in terms of his stat line last week, but yeah, you crack a 41 there without doing too much special. That's exactly what you want out of your dual position, sort of six guy in your back line there. What about Galvin here? Actually, before we go into buy or sells, I want to throw this out there. Both of you, I want to get your opinions. Galvin going to the Dogs. Hypothetically, let's say Sexton gets dropped there. It's a Galvin-Burton combo in the halves, and then they keep kind of Tracy at fullback there. The hooker rotation stays as it is. Do you have any interest in Galvin or Burton with that configuration?
I've already got Burton, so I won't be doubling up. I think Galvin will benefit him. So unless they do the whole crazy fullback switch, Burton to fullback, etc., etc. But I think if they're together, I think Burton will take on more responsibility. Galvin will do more of the running. So hopefully, as a Burton owner, it's going to benefit him.
I reckon there will be an uptick with Galvin if he's running as 6. Just the Doggies' left side is very, very dynamic in attack. You have Sherry, Kickow running down that side, and I feel like Galvin's the type of person to actually take on the line a bit more than what Burton or Sexton was doing. So yeah, Galvin could see an uptick, but I do want him to get a little bit cheaper if I was going to consider buying him.
So these messages are great, by the way. has come in, planning to eat a lot of sausage rolls for the game this week. Lads, won't let you down. Trust. this Payne Haas YouTube account that's definitely real is single-handedly making me think maybe I should captain Payne Haas. Oh, then Kolomatangi, 100 plus. Look, I really do think that this is the time of year where you can take some speculators on captaincy. Just the thing with this one, like Terrell May, as I think about it, Terrell May is going to be pushing for that origin spot tonight. Well, not tonight, this weekend. So that probably does play a part. It's tough. It's tough. I can't shake the Cleary feeling. But if I was giving someone else advice, I'd probably say Terrell May will be pushing for that front row spot that's been vacated by Mitch Barnett. So maybe he does have a really big game here. Anyway, let's keep tearing through because that's our captaincy. So, guys, really it is about the big three there. We're mostly leaning May and Cleary as the safer options, Haas and Kolomatangi as the huge upside guys. Not a lot of love for Aaron Clark, Toby Couch, and Herbie Farmworth, and a few of you guys on Pia Kura, the truest of the true coming through there. Now, next up, buys and sells. So, for this show, guys, we'll go through a few different things, but the buys and sells are now. Then we jump into players we think are going to explode as well. We'll build some daily fantasy teams too, and we'll cover the late changes to team list as well. Now, the late changes do come through relatively shortly, but on the buys list first, I'll throw some names out there. I want to know, really, you guys can jump in on anyone that you have a strong opinion about, but there's Couchman, Kolomatangi, you got Damien Cook there, Hamish Stewart is still floating around, Tallis Duncan, Jaden Campbell, bit of chat about Scott Drinkwater, which is quite interesting as well, and Nathan Lawson. And then you could go through all the cheap middle forwards as well, like Jesse Colquhoun, Lip Boy, Hot Boy, these types of players. Turtle, I'll throw to you first here. Are any of these guys that you think are a bit overhyped right now or a bit underrated and under the radar? Or what are you thinking here?
Well, I'll start with Lawson because I feel like a lot of people are just using him as a cash out. But I went back and looked at an article of a post-game interview of what's his name, the coach Flanagan. So he was rating Lawson really high. He's come from rugby sevens, Olympics. He's good friends with Marky Mark, and he said he talked a lot to Marky Mark and who was it, Bailey Simonson about getting into the NRL and starting out there, and just wants to show what he's capable of. So if he's anything like Marky Mark, which he's not, but if he's just starting out, because Marky Mark the first few weeks he wasn't anything too crazy. It's only been the past 4 or 5 weeks where he's been scoring a try or two every single week, whereas the Dragons really rely on their wings to score most of their tries. So Lawson can actually soak up a fair bit here, and he didn't get the spot due to injury or anything because Sloane's still out there, and then they have a few wingers out there. But I think some are still injured, but they're coming back. But Sloane just outright got dropped for him, so I'm pretty keen on Lawson, especially at that price. We're looking at cash out options. He's fits in at center. It's good. He plays both major buy rounds. Can't go wrong.
You on the same boat there, Rob?
Yeah, 100%. I watched him play, and he's in that mold of, those To'os, Mazu, Kiraz, hard-running kind of winger types that want to take the ball up, and he looked quite elusive as well. So he's definitely someone that I'm very interested in. And like I said, bottom price, plays 15, 18. It's nearly a no-brainer to me. Obviously, job security is a bit iffy, but from what I saw, he offers something that Sloane doesn't offer. Sloane's a bit of a cat, I think. Like, he's very silky, but he's not.
Did
I say that
on the fantasy podcast? Calling players cats.
Sorry, Sloane. Sorry, Sloane. But
You're a brave man.
Okay. but he's just more of that harder kind of winger that I love watching and really fantasy relevant. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, look, just quickly too, we did get a bit of an update here. I'm just going to jump straight across to it. Team lists have come through. A bunch of people are in the chat there. So first thing, Greg Mazu. He comes in on the wing spot there, jersey 22. That was sort of reported earlier in the week, but not a surprise. And the second thing that is absolutely juicy, and here's the curveball. This is why we're doing the show. Big bad Jazz Tevaga into the starting prop spot. Does this change anything for you guys? Like, for me, it just confirms he's going to play sort of 40 to 50 minutes at prop. Maybe he plays lock and Gerbo plays prop. Like, they're just naming it this way. I'm so keen on holding Jazz now, and I almost think you don't have to loophole him at this stage if he's starting.
That's amazing news. Because if he was that injured that everyone's worried about his ribs, he wouldn't be starting. He just come on for a half an hour roll if they were steamrolling Newcastle. But he's starting, so you can't go wrong there. Hold, big hold.
Yeah. I think there's a good chance he's playing lock. Do you think that, Turtle?
Definite hold. Definite hold. Like Robbie said, if he is injured and he's carrying like a niggle, he wouldn't be starting. He'll come on as an impact player when the forwards are tired and try to do stuff there. But the fact that he's starting is a big game changer. Definitely holding this week.
Thomas Kent at lock. That's interesting.
That's huge.
That is big. So Matty Croker drops to the bench there. Sipley on the bench here. Thomas Kent at lock. Is there what would you guys need to see from Kent this week to be considering buying him?
He's a massive workhorse. So I did own him early on this year when he was on the edge, and he looks for work. So at lock, he would be pretty good if he kept that spot. So what's he got? I think he's got about 4 weeks. Is it Leo Thompson's got 4 weeks for the crusher? I'm not sure that's long enough to justify a purchase though.
Yeah, Jacob Safidi, another 2 weeks I think as well. Yeah, that's great. Look at that. I'm so glad we had big news, by the way. I thought we'd have something happen during the stream. I thought it was going to be just the Munster news. Not Munster, sorry. Oh, that is news. It's coming soon. But the Marzu news, I mean. But we get Jazz starting as well. I just reckon it's if you were even considering selling Jazz Tevaga, you're probably not going to even think about it now. He's just such a PPM machine.
It just shows you how highly Seabold thinks of him, right? So, injury or no injury, you're starting, mate. Get up there. Get 50 points minimum, please.
How about this one here? Duncan versus Aitken. If you had the cash, is there any reason why either of you would go to Duncan first, or do you think it's just Aitken's a better scorer, so you go that way?
Duncan's just a planner, right? He's pretty decent value for his price range, dual position, but he's not going to give you 50 plus points every week, I don't think. And it's shown from his past stats. So I wouldn't be touching Duncan unless I needed to.
Yeah, Duncan's the only reason you'll get Duncan is you just need to fill that little gap. Just say you need him for 1 or 2 weeks, most likely the major buy rounds because he plays both of them. And just say you probably need a flexible dual position because that's what he has over Aitken at the moment, is just that dual position. But overall, Aiken's just a better scorer. He's not too much more expensive. I think he's only 130k more at the moment. But sometimes people are like, oh, well, I have the option to get Coucher and Duncan, or I can get Aitken and I don't know, Nafu White or something. And
Josh Curran, yeah.
So someone a little bit cheaper, So it depends on how much money they have and if they're trying to be conservative with their trades.
I'm thinking as well. Duncan is a filler if you need that spot covered, and if you're short at middle forward, because there are some teams that are running 0 middle forwards at this stage, so they're buying Couchman. That's one. Duncan is a great filler in that scenario too. If you don't need the middle forwards, though, I don't think you need to force him in. So I look at my team, for example, I won't get Duncan. There's 0 chance of it, just because I am so full for round 15 and round 18. Now, the Jazz hype just continues to come, guys. So let's hit some score predictions here. And everyone is watching along as well. Drop your comment. What do you think Jazz is going to score tonight in terms of points? I'm going to go on the bigger side here. I think the fact the Knights are a bit under strength in the middle forward rotation there means that we're going to see Jazz score his first try of the year. I'm going to go 73. 73 points. I think it's going to be a monster.
Let me check when Jazz scored his last try.
Not this year.
My prediction will probably be about 40 to 50 mark. He's a big PPM guy. Sipley's coming back from injury. That's why maybe the late swap for Jazz to start over Sipley. Just maybe they're concerned about Sipley. But if Jazz gets 50 minutes, he could probably get 40, 45.
Here's a 32 guess. Also, as you were saying that, Turtle, when you were saying he wasn't going to score 70, you froze for a second, which I think is the internet saying that you're wrong, and he's going to go 70 plus. We've got 32, 39, 50, 62, 58, 67. I think this might have been when I said 70. 120 coming through here. 56.
That's a captain
If
one.
you
That's a
keep,
captain.
you kept the one. Yeah.
38, 45, 47. I'll tell you what, 60, 70 with a try. If these scores come through, and I'm not going to do that, Killamore, I'm definitely not going to calm down. If these scores come through, except for this one, we're in a pretty good spot with Jazz. So, look, his break even's 15 points. I think he's in a great position there. Now, we've got a question coming through. You go, Rob, sorry.
He scored a try last year in round 6. He played 9 minutes and he scored a try.
It's pretty recent. So, what you're saying is he'll score a try in the first 9 minutes tonight.
Yep, we can get 78.
Now, we got a question coming through from Edison, and he's called us the panel, so I kind of like that. So I'm gonna answer this one with you guys here to help. What's your opinion? Would you rather have Aitken, Garrick, and Cook, or Couch, Walsh, and Cook? So basically, Aitken and Garrick, or Walsh and Couchman. Rob, I'll throw to you first.
I just see Walsh there, and I just think whatever the other option is, it's better. So, so it's definitely not. That's definitely not the Walsh option. I like Aiken, Garrick, and Cook.
Turtle.
I'm gonna go the Walsh option.
There it is.
Like I think Couch does really well. Aiken might do well as well, but I just feel like the Raiders are going to come out for Papali's big game. So Papali's going to be playing 50 minutes this game, I reckon. And with on the back of Tarpanay and Horsburgh, it's a big forward pack running at them. So yeah, I think Couchman's the way to go compared to Aiken.
Yeah, I also think Couchman is just so good that you can't ignore him. Like he's in the similar tier, not quite at that level, but in a similar tier to Kolomatangi last week, where he's got that dual position, that fantastic buy coverage. You build your trade this week around making sure you have Kolomatangi and Couchman, and everything else has to fit around that. I would say though, depending on the team, some teams would be better with Aitken compared to Cook, especially now with this news that Jazz is playing at prop. It like for me personally, it means that I'm probably going to reverse my Damien Cook trade because Jazz is now a reliable hooker, and I actually don't need him at middle forward. So I'm probably not targeting Cook anymore. And I think a lot of the teams that have Jazz that were targeting Cook out of fear can now sort of rest easy and think, hey, you know what? Jazz is actually back to his 60, 70 average best, and he's going to be Aaron Clark 2.0.
Is there a world where you still want Cook or not, just based on value? So
Only
not
if you
position
need-
wise, but just value.
Yeah, only if you need the coverage for middle, I think. So if you've already got your forward pack full, I don't necessarily think you need to add him on. Are you thinking differently?
I've got a middles problem next week, so I need a middle, but a hooker will solve that problem because I can move Jazz around. The other thing is Plath coming back. You kind of throws a bit of a spanner in the works because he was someone that I wanted before, and he's got a quite a high break even, so he could come down in price this week and be a pretty good buy. So I don't need him for round 18. So yeah, Damien Cook, if the winnings still scare me. That's the thing. I'm still on the fence with him because I can't guarantee he's going to get big-ish minutes every week. That's a problem.
Yeah. Turtle, are you thinking that Cook, like if someone has Jazz already, like in Rob's situation, it makes sense. You know, you move Jazz down to the middle forward spot. You're choosing Cook over Hamish Stewart, Talis Duncan, these types of players, which I think is a smart choice. But if someone already has the coverage, do you think adding Cook on, adding an extra number to round 15 is worth it?
Probably not. I feel like it's not too far to go off to get Aiken, and I feel like Aiken will most likely outscore Cook. I feel like Cook's minutes were inflated just because they've had injuries in both games where he's had really big minutes. So it's more of a wait and see. But then at the same time, with that break even, and he's only at 600k, so it's like, oh, maybe I should jump on now. But with Aiken, his spot's kind of secure at the moment, right?
Yeah. So Aitken, I'd say probably like a 55. You pencil him in for, right? Whereas
Agreed.
with Cook, it's been a 47 this year. It's been a lot higher recently. If you play 65 minutes, which is reasonably generous, that's a 50 average with his historical PPM. I think 65 is is about right. So yeah, you're right. Aitken is probably a better scorer. It depends on positional requirement, though, I think, for most teams. But Jazz playing at prop, I mean, we can also just wait and see the other thing. So I'm not trading Jazz for Cook in my team. I was actually planning to move like Hosking to Cook or, Cobbo to Cook or someone like that instead. But we can now have a look and see, all right, what does Jazz do in this prop role? If Jazz he starts and he comes off after 25 minutes, doesn't come back on, we'll still get Cook. But if Jazz is really effective, I'm probably going to let that sort of Jazz score and performance dictate whether I go to Damien Cook. Now, a couple other questions coming through. Would you start Purdue or Tamale this round? Tamale's got the more favorable matchup, but Purdue is not next to Ethan Strange.
Tamale.
Tamale?
Yeah, Purdue versus Storm. It doesn't look good. There might be some rain down there as well. Tamale, like he has to go look for his work to get his points, but he's pretty good at doing it. So he'll catch the ball from like a return kick or something, and then just make 3 or 4 tackle breaks for fun, just running sideways, and then just keeps doing that most of his run. So he has to go look for his work, but yeah, he does look for his work, so it's all good. I think he's pretty safe.
Yeah, I'm liking Tamale at the moment too. And Rob, I know you're a big fan of this guy here, Brandon Smith, the cheese. I feel like he's already in your team right now, but do you think everyone should jump on in round 18 if he starts and plays?
Fool me 3 times, shame on you. No, what is it? How's the saying go? Oh, you just can't fool me. Anyway, Cheese, is he due to play round 18? Is he? I thought he was injured. I'm not sure what the news is on him. I'm not up to date.
He's due back around then, so it's a bit of speculation, but yeah, I'm not going to trust Ballbags 2110 too much for my mail, but yeah, I would say there's a chance that he comes back and plays. The issue is he probably comes off the bench. I would say, what's their rotation? Is he a middle forward to South Sydney? Is he a hooker? I think he wants to be a hooker. I don't know if they need him at middle forward. So yeah, look, that one's more of a joke than anything. And then Greg Marzu, he comes back this week. Is there any world where you'd target him, or is it just too close to his last relevant major buy round? Boys,
It's
I'm going
just
to need
too
you to answer
close.
faster. One of you just got to jump in.
It's
Too many
just too
gaps.
close. I was thinking about it. It's just too close. Like there's only one more major buy round left for him, and he's at like what 600k at the moment, so it's not even cheap. So it's just too close.
He's too expensive.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah, he's pricey. He's pricey. And then on this one here, Jazz, starting 17, looping. As of right now, I know you guys haven't had a chance to go back to your team yet. Is Jazz going to be, or if you had Jazz, would he be in your 17, or would he be a loopholer for you?
I'm just looping him because I've got so many buy players. So I'm just doing it for the sake of it. So it's not that I don't really not that I don't have confidence in him. I was just looping him because I can. Because anything can happen, right? He could cop a big hit in the ribs straight away and then he could come off. So you never know. So I always like to loop the players that play first.
Yeah, I'm definitely looping him. I have too many. How would you call it? I have too many derps on my team. I've been doing a lot of bad trades lately, so I feel like out of all the derps, Jazz is probably most likely going to score the best. But if you can loop, you might as well.
Yeah, I think he ends up a loop in my side as well. I'll toy with a few different ideas, but that last spot, it's a very strong team outside of that last spot for me. So even if Jazz comes out and plays 50 minutes, even though I had that confirmation, I'd still loop him just because he's a tier below the rest of the guys who got starting there. And Tom's asked, "What are you sipping on?" It's just what I had in the fridge actually, left over from some friends coming over. Bit of pure blonde. We are open to a beer sponsor though, guys. So if there is anyone who owns a beer company, and you're watching this, we will do anything for it. And I'll give you Turtle's phone number. He can answer all your fantasy questions too. So.
You got to stop handing it out.
Oh, mate. One day I actually will. You'll get the call.
It better be the beer sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we've got a shipment for you. We're at the front. Oh, beauty. All right. So let's go through some more buys and sells then. So, I mean, who else have we got here? Like Jaden Campbell. No news of AJ Brimson yet. We haven't had that confirmation. Let's talk about both possible scenarios here. So if Jaden Campbell is confirmed back to halfback, Out of 10, Rob first, then Turtles. How much priority is Jaden Campbell as a buy this week?
For me, he's a 10. I need that wing fullback spot. He's going to be the best wing fullback in fantasy, I believe. So I just want to get him in as soon as possible. His B is not that high anymore. Even versus Storm last week, he went really well. So unfortunately, his price drop never came. So I'm just happy to buy him at full freight and just be done with it.
How about you,
Yeah.
Turtle?
At fullback, yeah, he's meant to score less. So if he's at fullback this week, then I'll probably put him at like a 4 or 5 in terms of urgency. But if he's playing halfback, I'll put him really high up. It's probably like an 8 or a 9. I think the Broncos Titans game is going to be very high scoring. I reckon it's like, I don't know, nearly 10 tries, so 60 points scored in that game. So I feel like there's going to be points on offer, and he just soaks them up because he has such a dynamic scoring profile at halfback. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So my official read on this is historically a 45 average when he plays fullback. You add the goal kicking into that comes like a 50. When he's playing halfback, it's a 60. So I think there's 10 points different there in terms of his scoring. We saw him score a mid-60s score last week, including a try and 2 try assists. So that was a pretty explosive attacking day for Jaden Campbell in a matchup where they only scored 3 tries. So he really was their entire attack. I personally think that if you get Jaden Campbell, he's their long-term halfback anyway. So the moderation of his score is really just a bit of a dip this week. It's a slight dip there, and then you go back to normal. So you're buying him as a keeper. I'd be okay with buying him this week, but I'm not tearing my team apart to get it to him. And for me, to get Jaden Campbell, I'd probably have to sell Cam Munster. And it's just a move that, it's a move that I'm
That's not happening.
struggling with. I'm grappling with it. So I guess it won't happen.
That's exactly the move I'm making. I'm selling Munster for Campbell. So
you're doing it.
He's had enough time in my team. Like he's done okay last few weeks, but he's been a frustrating hold, I think. So it's time to go Munster. Here he is, the great man.
So you're saying Munster is the guy you're selling. Look at him. He's right there. He's almost licking your bookshelf there.
I'm just sick of seeing him on 20 points after 53 minutes every week. That's enough. I want to see Campbell's kind of consistent kicking points coming up.
Yeah, we got a few more coming through. Campbell, 100 points here. The Turtles with the Bronx here. We got Karaz. A must-have question is Karaz, not a must-have this week, but if Karaz comes back and kills it, what's his rating next week? Out of 10, quick fire. Rob Turtle, how much do you want him?
0.
Wow.
I just sold him. I'm gutted. I'm burnt.
He's on tilt. I will put him at 6 or 7. I really love Karaz as a fantasy player. So he's just too pricey at the moment. Like he's in the 700s. If he comes down to the 600s, I'd definitely be picking him up.
I'm with you. That price point is pretty ridiculous there. If you didn't have him and you didn't have Garrick, I'd probably go Garrick over him as well. Like just the price point's completely different. Garrick's been really solid. We've got a few loving the flannel here. It's a bit cold, so I had to rock something. Kea, long you keeping Munster another week. Bro isn't selling Munster. What? You're reneging on Munster? Yeah, we all knew you weren't. Look,
get a reputation, mate.
I mean, I've talked about it for a long time, and a few times I really was going to do it. I feel like I sound like I'm lying now, but I really was going to do it, and there was a last-minute injury every week. That's why this show has come about. Now, this time around, it's the Jazz news. The Cook change is actually throwing out me selling Munster because I don't really want Cook now. Like, I'm not rushing to get him in because I think Jazz is going to be reliable. So I might keep him. God, give me some kind words, boys. Surely it's justified to say you're going to sell Munster
I think
8 weeks in a row.
I'm calling him out. I'm calling you out. He's lying. He's never ever planned on selling Munster. He was contemplating captaining him. He even had the vice captain on him at one stage, so you can't sell him and change his mind later. He was locked in.
I heard that Longy was a secret Queenslander. That's what I heard on the
Yeah.
grapevine.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, jeez. No, I want him not to
The
make the
Johnny
team
one.
so he can play more club footy for my fantasy side.
He was trained best in Origin 1, so we'll see on Origin 2 what happens.
Yeah. On Origin though, because look, I'm going to move the topic off this because Munster is, he's worked hard to stay in my side. Does Cherry Evans become a buy though? Like if Cherry is confirmed not playing Origin in the next 39 minutes, does he become someone to consider at about 650k?
I think he does. Yeah, like plays all the major buy rounds. If he doesn't go to Origin, might kind of try step up to prove that he's not so old and he's still got it because obviously he's trying to. Is it locked in that he's going to the Roosters next year? Like, is he just still on the market? But like, even if either way, he has to come out perform to try win his spot back. So he's cheap enough to take a gamble on.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems a bit past it. I wouldn't say, like past seasons, he'd be like, okay, sure thing, but this year I'm not so sold straight away. I'd like to see a bit more before I jump onto DCE.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I was looking at his scoring, and it just hasn't been at the level that it was in previous years. So I looked at him and I thought, why would I sell Savala for him, for example? Like Savala's having a few 50-plus games, that 60-odd score. DCE is kind of floating between, 40s, 50s, 30s most of the time as well. So he's actually not that much better than Savala, which is pretty outrageous to say, but in terms of fantasy production, it's relatively true this year. Now, just quickly, a few people were asking, I think they were late, Jazz Tevaga, the news is that he's starting at prop. The expectation is 40 points, 50 minutes. That's the conservative expectation. My heart says 75 points in a try, but my heart says a lot of things. So Paris doesn't want to comp, so my heart's not usually right. But that doesn't change Cook. People were asking about Damien Cook. It only means that if you already have Jazz Tevaga, Cook is a little bit less valuable to you because Jazz is not on the bench anymore. He should be relatively productive. So you don't have to tear your team apart to get Cook, but he is still value, I would say. Now, we'll tear into some different stuff here. So SmartB, as I mentioned, they're the sponsor of this video. And they're going to be the ones that allow us to make this video every week too, guys. So absolutely cracking company. We're going to build a couple of daily fantasy sides. And the first one we're going to start with is the Warriors here. So who are the Warriors playing? The Sharks this week. So guys, we're going to go position by position and sort of make some decisions here. But starting in the back line, first things first, are either of you guys tipping the Warriors here or are you tipping the Sharks?
Warriors for me.
I think Sharks. It's Shark Park, right? So Sharks home ground.
Yep.
Talking Sharks.
I'm going Waz too, but I think it's going to be a cracker, which is why we really have to be selective here. Now, let's go through some decisions. So firstly, we're in the back line. Kale Ero, very expensive. I'm going to say we bring Ero in. I think he's going to have a cracker of a game. Then we go to like CNK, RTS, Ramian. This game has a big boost for run meters. So the run meters there, you've got 2 points every 10 meters and you get a bonus for 200 meters plus. To me, that says CNK all over it. He pumped out a massive score last week. I think you can back that up. And if we go down to like Ramian, Kennedy, DWZ, Katoa back, I'll throw to you first, Rob. Are you picking any of these guys to have a big game?
DWZ. I quite like him. So, yeah, he's always been a pretty good kind of player. So I'd chuck him in.
And how about you, Turtle?
Do we have to pick two more, right? Is Atkinson on the wing?
No, Sione Katoa came back.
Who's on the other wing?
Is Moeni Hiroti on the wing?
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure Hiroti, yeah.
I feel like a cheeky one. Yeah, Katoa. I feel like Katoa.
Got Katoa coming back. He's pretty cheap. Pompey's down there too at a really good price. And Hiroti as well, actually. Let's just double check the team list here. So yeah, Hiroti on the wing.
If we go cheap on the backs here, maybe because there's a lot of good forwards in this game. So if we go cheap on the backs, maybe we can go heavy on the forwards.
Well, let's go Pompey because I'm back in the Warriors. So let's go Pompey and back them to win here. Then in the halves, two half spots. Hines and Metcalf feels like the straightforward option. Any pushback on that?
Hines and Metcalf.
Hines gives me nightmares at the moment, but let's just put him in.
Hines and Metcalf it is. Well, hey, if you've seen Trindle's fantasy scores lately, you won't feel too bad about it.
It's
And
all
then we go
relative.
to forward pack here. So it's back row, then front row on SmartB. But McInnes, Nakora, Ford, we got Capewell there, who's playing centre this week. Niokore, Aaron Clark is automatic there. I'll throw to each of you. Maybe just take one each.
I'll choose McInnes.
McInnes, yep.
I think he's going to be a workhorse this game.
James
Yeah,
Fisher
me too.
Harris.
He'll be in the front row. Do you want
Oh,
Ford
it's in front row. Yeah.
or Halasima?
Let's put Halasima. Got explosive
Halasima.
potential.
Yeah, I reckon Halasima's starting should be really solid here. And then the front row, we got Fanua Blake up the top there. I think we got to take him, right? And Fisher Harris, you mentioned there too. Of the hookers, which one are we going for?
Wait,
It's a close one, isn't it? Let's go Egan for
Yeah.
the price. Yep.
Egan, all right.
Yep.
Egan it is. And then we've got a bench here too, so we can grab 4 more guys. We've got a lot of cash, about 3 mil to tear into. So pretty much just pick whoever you want here. Do we go to Ford first in that starting role?
I'm
Actually,
liking Teague Wilton.
Teague, all right.
Yeah.
Teague it is.
I think Ford's a good one with that starting role. If we can,
Go
yep,
Ford.
702.
And I'm going to have a look down the list here. I'll take RTS to have a big game. And is there anyone down the bottom here that we like? Maybe Kennedy, Oregon Kafusi, Hiroti. Or we've got a bit of cash. We could go straight up to Nakora as well. Do you want to do that?
Who was the most expensive? Just chucking me.
Nakora.
How much is the Nakora? Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep.
Let's go Nakora. All right, beauty. And then captain, vice captain. I'm going to use commissioner powers here and go CNK as my captain this week. I think the boost for run meters and the form he put up last week was there. And boys, between you, pick a vice captain for us.
I'm thinking Metcalf.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Metcalf. All right, Metcalf for a big game. Let's submit our team there. So that's our Warriors team up, boys. All right, cool. So, guys, if you do want to get into that, it's smartb.com.au. Link is in the description of this video. Just make sure you click on the free games and you can jump in there and play around with those free games there with us too. Otherwise, if you're watching later, I'll drop a comment in as well that goes through it. Now, boys, tearing back in here. So we've had some late news. We've had a chat on who we're buying and selling. Next question here is who's going to explode. And let's talk through game by game. So I'm going to start at the start. Manly versus the Knights. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put you guys on the spot completely here. I want a top scorer. In each of these games. So Manly versus the Knights. I'll go first. I'm going to take... I reckon it's going to be a Manly player. I'm going to take Ruben Garrick, top scorer. I just think Manly's going to win this game well, as much as the Knights do have so much fantasy pedigree.
Can I... I can't choose the same player, can I? I'm going to say Tommy Talau.
Tommy Talau?
5 tries. 5 tries.
I'm going the underdogs here, so I'm actually backing the Knights. So Kalen Ponga to try win his spot for Queensland because Reece Walsh is on the cards now. So if he wants to earn that extra money, Kalen Ponga's got to step up.
All right, Kalen Ponga. We've got Garrick and we got Tommy Talau. So it's a back heavy day. Next game, we got the Storm and the Cowboys. My one's not going to be very surprising. Cam Munster to have a massive day here. I'm doubling down here. You know what?
Are you selling or buying? I did hear that.
I reckon I might captain him at this point. he's still on the screen, so I can't say no to that face.
I'll go Drinkwater.
I'll say Nanai.
Ooh,
are you guys sort of backing an upset here? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I just feel like he's going to get his kick meters for Drinkwater, so they might be on the back foot a fair bit, but I don't know. He can just jag some attacking stats. Storm can leak points here and there.
Yeah, I could see some big meters too.
I'm imagining Nanai just jumping over Pappenhausen a fair bit, so we'll see.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, but Munster will be back there to support him, so should be all good. Then Dolphins v Dragons. So late news, guys. Max Plath and Jeremy Marshall-King will be back for the Dolphins. No confirmation whether they start or on the bench just yet, but they'll be back. They'll play a big role. That's a real boost for the Dolphins. I'm still tipping the Dragons here. and I'm still tipping it to be a big, big day for Toby Couchman with a try on the edge.
I reckon Herbie, top scorer. Easy
I'm
try.
going to say Katoa.
I love the spread. We've got a big spread. We've got Max Plath for 70. Do you guys see that happening? Like, Rob, I know you're pretty keen on Max Plath. Do you think he pops off?
No, not the first week back. Like, he's been off for 6 weeks, so it seems like they're rushing him back here, and I can't see him getting massive points the first week.
Yeah, that fair play. And then we'll tear through Sharkies v Warriors, and we sort of went through how we see this one when we're building our SmartB side. But Fisher Harris could be in for a big day. You know, Cam McInnes could be in for a big day. Fanua Blake, you could talk about the halves here. Metcalf, Hines, there's a lot of options. I'm going to say Cam McInnes has an absolute monster in fantasy. I just reckon there's going to be, 70 minutes on offer and 70 points plus a couple of attacking plays.
I reckon Aaron Clark. The Sharks like to run their forwards. They've got a really big forward pack. So Aaron Clark, 50 tackles here. So I'm putting Aaron Clark for a 70.
Wishful thinking, but Nico Hines finally wakes up and then breaks the line and for a try for once.
Man, Nico Hines, I've got him too. And that's probably why I keep keeping Munster, because Hines just doesn't look much better than him, even though he's so much more expensive. I've got a question here too. Is getting rid of Garrick a bad idea? You've obviously just joined. We've been talking about Garrick being the top scorer of the week so far. So, yeah, no, definitely. Garrick's going to pop off. He's at a great price. I think he's a guy you want to keep for the rest of the year. Not necessarily a starter for the rest of the year, but great coverage for you. Then Broncos v Titans here. And Broncos are big favourites. Probably not completely justified, if I'm being honest here. And this is a pretty cliche answer. I just think Payne Haas comes out and has an absolute monster. There's so much chat about the Broncos. There's heaps of chat about them being off the rails, him wanting out of the club, all that. I think he responds to that with a big game.
Campbell, if he plays halfback. I think, Campbell's just so much value if he switches to halfback, but it's all dependent on if Brimson comes back. But I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. And when I say like 60 points in the game, I don't mean Broncos win by 60. I reckon it's going to be like 32-28 either way.
I'm going to back Adam Reynolds here. I think he's going to have a big game. Shut up all the sides, like the people all the critics at the moment, but we'll see.
We've got a few others saying Walsh and Mam going to have 50 plus against the Titans here too. So
is that together? Walsh and Mam 50 points
combined and captain.
Oh wow! Oh boys, ruthless. Poor F Dad. He's reeling. This is cyberbullying. You can't do that. And bad take. Broncos are winning from Chael here. Yeah. Do you think Walsh will play good? I reckon Walsh he's in a good position here to bounce back. It is unclear, much like your camera right now, Rob. It's a bit blurry and it's hard to tell what Walsh is going to do. Now, question for you both. Quickfire answer. 7 trades left. Is that unhealthy? And if someone did have 7 trades left, what would you need to see from their team to make it at least kind of okay?
7 trades left is pretty low. What I'll need to see from their team is they have a fully stacked team for 15 and maybe only need 1 trade for 18. And then I'll think 7's okay, because that's just for injuries. And you want more than you want to have more than 0 when you get the extra 8, because you're going to use them over the last 8 weeks or whatever, 7 weeks.
7 is very dicey, but like Turtle said, if you're pretty much set for the buy rounds, then that's okay. But if you haven't really kind of done the buy planning and you're still trying to make up numbers every week, that's really, really sad territory, I think.
I will say, overall, coaches, you can be a bit lower. So I think 7's in the bottom end of what I would say is acceptable with a good side. 6 is where I sort of start to puke in my mouth a bit. But if you went to the head-to-head coaches instead, you need to have more trades as a head-to-head coach. So often the person who wins a head-to-head league is the person who had trades at the end. I know this because I play overall, and I always lose the grand final head-to-head leagues because I've got this like hacked-together team in round 26 that's just hobbling to the finish line, with a pretty good rank. Then Schiller marking Garrick, I was going to mention that there too from Casual Ballers. Casual Ballers, did you decide on your trades in the end? Did you go back to the 4, or did we stick with the 2? I want to know the answer there. Then let's keep ripping through here. So Sunday games, we've got the Raiders and the Rabbitohs. That's a tricky one for top scorer. There's a lot of
I
options
got a
there.
spicy one. I got a spicy one.
Hit us
Corey
up.
Horsburgh.
At lock.
At lock, I reckon he's a really high PPM player, but if he gets like 65 minutes, whoa, it's gonna be so juicy.
He's going to play his way into the Queensland side.
Apparently he's not in
Potentially.
there at the moment, which is crazy.
Really, what's he thinking?
I'm thinking it could be. I reckon we're going to get a surprise here, and I want it not to be Hosking. He could. Biz was really keen on Hosking popping off this week. I'm probably leaning like Kalamatangi is the safe answer, and he's going to have to step up against this Canberra forward pack. But I've got a feeling Tarpanay might explode here. So as much as I think logically, I think Kalamatangi, something in my heart says Tarpanay is going to score a try and have a massive day.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I think Latrell. He's just loves a big game, right? Loves a big game specialist. Canberra doing well this year, so that's his stage to go big.
Trell coming through. Then Tigers v Panthers. I'm going Cleary, 100+ points. I think this is going to be a trademark day. I'm going to be talking about this game for months.
Cleary, yeah. I think we have to unify here, unless Rob wants to go May.
I'm on the fence. I'll say that has to be different.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to put your captains in soon. Time's running out.
Yeah, you've got 23 minutes on captaincy, man. And then, or you could do what I've done. I did a few weeks ago where I just switched back and forth until lockout.
And see what happens. It's like any,
you got it wrong as well. That was the worst bit. And then Doggies v Eels here. You can throw a few curveballs in.
Oh.
I'm kind of thinking like it's a Jack Williams, Josh Curran type of day. I'll back my boy Jack Williams, but I think it's one of those two.
Just trying to think of who's on their teams. I reckon Mitchell Moses. If it's a back and forth game, he's going to get like 800 kick meters. Yeah,
let's go Burton.
Ooh, bit of wishful thinking. And then, do you risk getting May? Definitely. It's not a risk at all. Definitely get May. That's Terrell May, right? Not Taylor May just yet. Did you see that those two started a podcast together?
No, really?
Yeah, I saw the Instagram page. It's like raw and unfiltered. I was thinking like, oh, it'll be good. It'll be a good listen, but someone might get sacked. It's really raw and unfiltered.
It's too raw. It needs to be filtered.
Yeah, maybe a bit of filtering would be good. But oh, beauty. All right, well, let's jump into another team here. We'll build another SmartB side. So, guys, if you do want to jump in, it's daily fantasy on SmartB. Let's jump back across to all comps there. I'll just go to free comps. We'll jump on rugby league. Which game do you guys think here? So Dogs, Para. I reckon Panthers, Tigers. That's a good one to go with, right?
Dylan Edwards.
Picking all Panthers players apart from May. Is that right?
Oh, you reckon? I reckon the Tigers put up a bit of a fight here. I just think Cleary's going to have a big day. You going Dylan Edwards there, Turtle?
Yeah, Dylan Edwards. You get that extra bonus for run meters.
Yeah, the double points for run meters, the 200-meter plus bonus there too. It's got to be Brian Toa then, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Do we go Skelton on the back of a hamstring injury, or do we go Bula? Isaac Tungo, Taruva, Casey McLean. You don't get points for passes, so that'll be good for Casey. Stafford Toa. Heath Mason's very cheap.
I'll take Stafford Toa.
Yep, Stafford Toa. How about you, Rob? Let's pick one each.
Let's go Alamotti.
Alamotti. Is Alamotti playing this week?
Is he? Oh, that's a bit of a...
I'm not sure he is. Let me just double check. No, he's not. So Jenkins and Toa are the two there. So I'll throw Buller in. And then you've got Isaac Tungo or Casey McLean as your options.
He's due to score. We'll choose some good games.
Score. Yeah, every now and then he pops off. And at the half spot here, obviously you got the Clash of Titans here. Jerome Luai is very cheap. Cheaper than Blaze Talangi. Cheaper than Adam Dewey.
Let's bring the old crew back together.
Cleary and Luai.
Yep.
You happy with that
Yeah.
turtle?
Yeah, agreed.
Beauty. And the back row here, what have we got? I mean, Isaiah Papali'i, a bit overpriced. So I think the pricing, I was looking into it, the pricing is long-term, like historical pricing. And then there are, recent form bonuses and cuts. So Isaiah Papali'i is expensive because he was historically really good. But Yo, I think, is a goer. Then, I mean, it's actually not the best forward rotation to pick from here.
I reckon we
yeah.
Suka, yeah.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
Suka.
That's cheap.
So
cheap.
cheap.
Yep.
And then Seyfarth at lock
Seyfarth at
or
lock, yeah.
Sorensen, or you want to go
Safe off
Seyfarth?
at lock.
Safe
Yeah.
off a lock. Let's go.
All right, let's do that. Then front row here and against pretty light front row other than our main man.
Lindsay.
Over
So
91k. What a bug.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Guys, if you're playing this game, get on. Terrell May 591k. That's absurd. Oh my
Half
god.
price.
All right, well, you got him. Adam Dewey just
Yeah.
keeps popping up because of utility. Lindsay Smith,
okay.
we could go with. Man, Moses Leota's a good player, but just not fantasy relevant, really.
Lindsay Smith, I think.
Lindsay Smith, and then
Lindsay
do we go
Smith.
Chorus out for a big day, or what do you reckon?
Do we have a lot of money left?
I think we're pretty flush. Yeah, we got heaps of
Yeah,
cash.
yeah. Okay. Happy.
Let's go happy. And I think they're going to be tightening the salary cap over the next few weeks, but we got heaps of cash here. So 3 million. So we can basically get whoever
Wow.
we want. Papali'i, not it. Skeleton in the return game, I'm not completely against. You guys happy with that?
Yeah, he's not too bad. But Penrith,
He can-
defense isn't the same. Yeah, I'm happy with
Yeah.
that.
He can be a beast. Yep.
Taruva, Martin, Sorensen, Jenkins, McLean, Leota. Who do you guys like?
Well, Blaze Talangi.
You want Blaze?
Ooh, Blaze. Yeah, that's spicy.
That's actually so spicy.
Is he? Where is he?
He was 600 and
Well, that's pricey, but we've got the cash. Splash the cash.
just can't see him.
Schneider's there.
Is he on there? Nope.
Oh,
Only half.
wow.
Only half.
Okay.
Not
It's all
bench eligible, I guess, but
Yeah,
we
right.
can go. I mean, Martin. Do you think Martin has a big game heading into Origin, or
Yeah.
Sorensen? Maybe Jenko. Do we go with Jenko? Hold the faith.
What about Taruva?
Taruva. Let's go Taruva. And then we got one more spot to fill. Basically, cash we want. Martin or Sorensen? Which one do you guys like?
Let's go Marto.
Martin.
Crazy.
Marto?
Crazy Marto. Yep.
Yeah,
Marto,
Sorensen
cool.
back from injury or something.
And captain, vice captain. I'll let you choose one
Mm.
each, guys. Who are you thinking?
It's got to be Cleary, doesn't it? Captain?
Captain Cleary, yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Cleary. And VC, who's VC May? To keep it really simple.
Yeah.
It could be May, but it could also be Dylan Edwards or Toto. Actually, Vice Captain Toto. I like that. He might
Yeah.
score a try. He might get
Yeah.
200 meters.
You get 1.5x on your vice captain in this game as well. So it's actually worth points. All right, cool. Awesome. That's our roster for Tigers v Panthers game. So yeah, guys, if you do want to jump on, that's SmartB. They're the sponsor of today's show. And it's a daily fantasy game, an absolute cracker of a game. They gave out 5 jerseys at Origin 1. I didn't win one. I was pretty furious. And I think it was because of the selections you made, Turtle, when we did that show. Look, you made us get a Xavier code, but he actually killed it.
I sabotaged it with Queensland. I was very biased. I'm a Queensland supporter. I have to be.
Yeah, beauty. All right, well, look, we're coming towards the end, so let's hit a couple of last-minute questions here. So, guys, if you're freaking out, it's the last second. Fire in your questions here. Any truth to the rumor that Galvin's starting? Maybe. We don't. No one's really going to know. They're not going to tell anyone, right? So I think it's unlikely that he starts this week, and I just wouldn't be buying him anyway in that first week. He'll have a simple role. Who out of Sand and Smith, Savala is more likely to get dropped when Sam Walker returns? Quick fire, both of you. Rob, then Turtles. What do you think?
I think Savala stays.
I think Savala goes.
Ooh, split there. I think Savala stays as well if they've signed Cherry Evans. Hard one to read. Then Terrell May, 2 tries. That would be nice. That would be nice. So Captain Terrell May is still safe? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
We love that captaincy choice. Then pick between Drinky or Carraz or Teddy. Guys, if let's just say it was sometime over the next couple of weeks here, of this group, who would you go for? For me, it's probably Teddy. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, Teddy. Oh, Tricky.
Tricky.
In order, Teddy, Carras, Drinky.
Oh, bit of slander. And what's the go with DC in the Holmes news? So yeah, a bit of chat. We reshared it today. DCE potentially out of the Origin side. Holmes potentially out as well. I do think that Holmes news is just a slight downer on Lawson, because I was thinking about Lawson, thinking, all right, well, if Sloan comes back in, that will screw Lawson over. But if Lawson is a center as well, and then Holmes plays Origin round 15 and round 18, then Lawson will come back for that, right? So it's just a bit of an extra layer of security that is now removed. Kind of makes Holmes a vaguely interesting super pod. The issue is we don't need it. We don't need it at center. I know. Would you guys consider Holmes at all, or not really?
Not really.
No, definitely not.
What's his price? 642K. Yeah, averaging 50. It's too expensive. If he was down to like 500K or something like that, you could think about it. But yeah, just not going to get it done. All right, cool. And then last questions here, and then we'll make sure we have a bit of time to get our team sorted as well. Guys, hit the like button. Yeah, good idea, Steve. Guys, hit the like button if you like this brand new show. So it's been a cracker to run through. What is SmartB? So it's just a daily fantasy game, guys. So it's in the description. There's a link there. Just make sure you click on the free games to start with and just have a bit of a play around. But they're giving away a bunch of Origin jerseys for Origin, and yeah, they're an absolute cracker of a game. We love SmartB. Then finally getting rid of Grandad out of my dear Maroons DCE going is Hosking. I'm just going to fire questions at each of you, right, to finish up here. So Rob, then Turtle. It'll just go back and forth. Is Hosking on why to sell for JC this week? He needs a wing fullback. Rob?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Lads, should I use my last trade to bring in Pia Kura? Turtle?
Yes.
Rob?
Delete up.
Otherwise,
Delete
just
up.
Toyota Garrick. Do you like that?
Toyota Garrick's legit too.
Beauty.
Good trade.
Kale Hero Pod. Do you like that, Rob?
No.
I do.
Turtle, would you trade Fogarty to Couchman if you had Cleary and Katoa playing head-to-head?
Yeah, no. Not for head-to-head.
No.
Okay. On the fence there. And hey, Lobby asking me, do I know Adrian Buttery's rank? I'm not sure. I think he's had a bit of a tough year this year, but he normally finishes strong. So you can't judge him just yet. Give him a bit of time. He'll rise up as we go. And wait on Cookie. You can pull the trigger on Cook, or you can wait. And I'll go back to you guys here. Rob, Lomax, a pod after Origin?
Not for me. No, not wing fullback position, no.
Nah, there's too many other better players.
Turtles, are the Eels going to win the comp this year?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's right. I tricked you guys. See, you've answered in support of the Eels. Rob, Savala or to Burton, and Wong to Koloamatangi?
Yeah, I like those trades.
No, I think you keep one somehow.
Boys, should I support the Warriors?
Yes.
Not a bad team.
Up the wires. Up the wires.
And then last one, to give us a bit of credibility, what are our ranks? I'm at about 1,100 right now, so just outside the top 1,000. How about you, Rob and Turtle?
I think I'm 2,100 at the moment.
I think I'm like 190. I think we talked about it the other day, but I was like, man, I haven't been lower than 200 this year. So I'm on the brink of losing it, but hopefully this week's good. So sneak into the top 100. Let's go.
You are flying. You are flying. Well, look, thanks, boys, for jumping on. Our first time, so, we're still figuring things out. But, guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure to drop a comment. Let us know you liked it. And if you think there's anything we should change about the show, any pivots we should make, we can adapt this over time. But to really finish off, Jazz Tevaga. Last word, guys, on Jazz. Hit me with your news.
Jazz for a try. Let's go.
Jazz for a try.
Hold firmly.
Keep Jazz. That's what we're finishing on. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Turtle. Thank you, everyone who is here engaging. Absolutely love you all. See you guys in the next one, and good luck this week.